This very well may be the end of Anthony Joshua's career. Wow, so Anthony Joshua, in a fight he was highly favored in and was very confident to the point that he may have been overlooking Dubois, got absolutely demolished, and it wasn't even close. Daniel Dubois completely wrecked his shit, dropped him multiple times, and unfortunately for Joshua, this loss was coming after he was mounting a small comeback post his two confidence-crushing losses to Alexander Usyk. So imagine this loss from his perspective. He had a solid 2023 and was recovering from two of the worst losses of his career and was finally winning and getting his name back up and was a huge favorite to beat a solid name in Daniel Dubois, and then all of that came crashing down after several knockdowns and an eventual knockout, which may signal an end to his career entirely. With this devastating loss for Anthony Joshua, let's explore how and why he lost to Daniel Dubois, what's next for Anthony Joshua if this is truly the end of his career, and finally let's explore if this is the definitive end to this generation of heavyweights. So let's get into the fight. Round 1 was already a banger. Daniel Dubois gave Anthony Joshua no room to breathe and didn't respect his name at all, immediately pushing the pace from the get-go and low-key rocked AJ with a 1-2. AJ had to clinch early after another Dubois jab, and you could tell Joshua was not comfortable with the pressure early. And I mentioned this bad habit of Joshua in this video, but against pressure in shorter fighters, he tends to simply extend his arm to keep distance, and that of course led to his undoing here as he extended his lead arm, didn't expect Dubois to close the distance by exploding off his rear leg, and got caught and dropped because of that miscalculation. Round 2, Daniel Dubois took full advantage of a hurt and wobbled Anthony Joshua and did the right thing by opening this round off with more pressure, volume, and keeping Joshua on the ropes while not letting him clinch. The pace slowed down, but in the middle here, Dubois landed a stiff jab that Joshua did not like, and for the rest of the round, Dubois just kept hammering AJ with a jab that couldn't miss. Third round, Dubois continued his pressure while AJ tried to mitigate by clinching. Anthony tried desperately to also even the score with a giant right hand, and they came from a mile away and was easily avoided by Dubois. Then we get into the end of the round where AJ goes for a 1-2, expects the right hand response from Dubois, but then maybe in a false sense of security keeps his guard down, which opens up AJ for a left hook. And looking back to the first knockdown, that's exactly how Anthony Joshua opened up. Throws a right hand, avoids a right hand counter, thinks he's in the clear, and then gets hit again. Anthony Joshua did not recover from the round before and clearly did not have his equilibrium as he got dropped, not really from the power, but more so the lack of balance he had by this point. Then after this low blow break, Dubois carried out an onslaught of left hooks and put Joshua on the back foot the entirety of the rest of this round and seemed like every punch bothered him. Round 5, I guess credit to AJ here for a brief moment when he got cocky in the corner and landed a right hand that looked like it rocked Dubois and sent him to the ropes. It really did look like Joshua was coming for a comeback. But of course, like his career up until this point, after a small glimmer of a comeback, Anthony Joshua got a little too overzealous, was looking for a giant right uppercut to wash away all of his mistakes, and Dubois' right ended up getting there to the chin before Joshua's uppercut could land anywhere. And that was it. This is the last picture we have of Anthony Joshua now, and this may very well signal the end of Anthony Joshua's career. So how did Anthony Joshua lose this fight? I think for one, we really haven't seen any major improvements or evolution from Joshua since his losses to Usyk. Even though he did go on a solid 4-fight win streak after his losses to Usyk, he fought those fights relatively the same since the opponents he faced never really had to test his true weakness, which are shorter, faster guys that can close the distance with great footwork, but most importantly can put on the constant pressure and volume and get AJ into firefights, the place where Joshua struggles the most. And with no one truly testing Anthony Joshua and his weaknesses, I think this led to a if it ain't broke, don't fix it mentality for Anthony Joshua and false confidence going into this fight. He really didn't show anything new in response to Dubois' pressure. He kept trying to clinch when he could, kept his lead hand up if he got close, and still had no idea what to do defensively when guys let their hands go in the pocket. Joshua was fully expecting this fight to be controlled in his range and to continue to win fights with the jab and a big right hand, like he won all of his fights previous, but Dubois was smart, and he probably watched film from Usyk because He used great footwork and constant inside pressure and volume to overwhelm the same old Anthony Joshua, take advantage of the same weaknesses Joshua had struggled with in the past, and won this fight. So what's next for Anthony Joshua? Well, firstly, let's establish that this loss pretty much brings an end to Anthony Joshua's chances of truly being on top again. But on a bigger scale, is pretty much the definitive end to this generation of heavyweights, as now all three of these guys have lost in horrible fashion this year. And unless Tyson Fury can somehow make the adjustment to beat Usyk in their rematch, this generation is truly done for. But the good news is that we can probably see Anthony Joshua fight someone in this group, as there shouldn't be any boxing politics stopping this fight from happening, since there's no more undefeated records to protect. There's really nothing to lose for Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, or Deontay Wilder at this point. We all saw them get beat down bad this year, and the aura they once had as some of the best heavyweights in the world is practically gone. And I think realistically, Anthony Joshua is going to take on Deontay Wilder next, and probably within the first half of the next year. With Tyson Fury taking on Usyk for the second time later this year, the fight for Britain's best is probably going to have to wait, which will probably lead to the long sought after event of Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder finally happening. And in classic boxing fashion, we're going to get this event between two superstars long after their respective primes, but I think it will be great for the sport and casual viewers. Despite their losses, they're still probably the most recognizable names in heavyweight boxing outside of Tyson Fury, and both have the potential to knock the fuck out of the other. A win for either guy would be a nice cap off to the back end of their career, with Deontay Wilder closer to that actual end than Anthony Joshua. And win or lose, Anthony Joshua, I think, is still going to continue to fight. He's only 34, which isn't the oldest for fighting, and though I don't think he'll ever get near an actual belt again or towards the top of the heavyweight division, he's obviously a big name, and with a probable loss to Usyk, Tyson Fury might finally give in to the money fight that is him versus Anthony Joshua. And quickly, I know this video is about Anthony Joshua, but this really showed the levels in the heavyweight division and how goddamn good Usyk is. Even though he's one of the smallest guys in the division, he KO'd Daniel Dubois, who destroyed Anthony Joshua. He outclassed Joshua twice, outskilled Tyson Fury as well, and is gunning to do it a second time. It's unreal how good Alexander Usyk truly is, and he really showed there was a big skill gap in the heavyweight division, which continues to make this video age very well. This generation of heavyweights lived in a weird period where the skill level was really never that high. They never had to fight anyone near Usyk's level. In that video, I had outlined how overrated Tyson Fury's skills were, how protected Deontay Wilder's resume was up until Tyson Fury, but now with Anthony Joshua, who I said had probably the best resume out of all of them, getting beat down by Daniel Dubois, this generation has truly come to an end. But we had our fun. I shit on these three a lot, but Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury trilogy was a blast, and Anthony Joshua getting highlight knockouts and yelling two-time or completely losing his mind after Usyk losses was hilarious. So even though this generation wasn't the most skilled heavyweight generation we've had, it was certainly an entertaining one with big stars, showmen, and fun moments during this time. So, of course, what do you guys think about the end of Anthony Joshua's career and the end of this generation of heavyweight boxers entirely? Do you think that this is truly the end for all three of these guys? Will they ever fight each other? Is the question, really. And what do you guys think about the new generation of heavyweight boxing with Usyk and probably Daniel Dubois and Zhilei Zhang? Obviously, again, thank you guys for always supporting, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.